Hey everyone, it's BrewCraft, and we make free D&D resources. Today on this episode of Myth to D&D, we're going to be covering the Krampus as the first part of our winter special. Let's go over the lore and the origins of the Krampus to go ahead and know what we're working with here to make the proper conversion into a creature we can use in Dungeons & Dragons. Krampus is a figure rooted in Central European folklore, primarily associated with the Alpine regions of Austria, Germany, Slovenia, and Hungary. His origins likely predate Christianity, with roots in pre-Christian pagan traditions linked to winter solstice celebrations. In pagan mythology, Krampus may have been associated with the Norse god Hel and the underworld, representing a force of chaos and punishment. When Christianity spread through Europe, Krampus was incorporated into Christian traditions as a dark counterpart to Saint Nicholas. This blending of beliefs created a unique duality. While St. Nicholas rewarded good children with gifts, Krampus punished those who were naughty, thus serving as a reminder of moral accountability during the festive season. The appearance of the Krampus is that of a terrifying, monstrous being. He's commonly depicted as a humanoid creature with a mix of goat and demon-like characteristics. His body is often covered in dark, shaggy fur, and he walks on cloven hooves, emphasizing his otherworldly nature. Horns curl from his head, giving him a menacing silhouette. His face is grotesque, often featuring glowing red eyes, a long pointed tongue that lolls out of his mouth, and sharp fangs. Krampus's terrifying visage is completed with chains, which he rattles as he moves, and a bundle of birch branches known as a root for striking misbehaving children. Sometimes he's shown carrying a sack or a basket on his back, showing his ability to capture and cart off particularly unruly children. Krampus plays a central role in the tradition known as Krampusnacht, or Krampus Night, celebrated on December 5th, the eve of St. Nicholas Day. During this night, Krampus is said to accompany St. Nicholas as they visit homes. While St. Nicholas delivers gifts to well-behaved children, Krampus goes ahead and delivers out punishments, which could range from leaving whole to more sinister acts, depending on the tale. The tradition is a form of moral storytelling meant to teach children the importance of good behavior. In some alpine villages, the legend is brought to life through Krampuslauf, or Krampus runs, where costume figures dressed as Krampus parade through the streets, often playfully scaring spectators. In modern times, Krampus has experienced a significant resurgence, gaining popularity not only in his native origins, but also internationally. Traditional Krampus celebrations, particularly in Austria and Germany, have evolved into major events attracting both locals and tourists. The Krampuslauf has become a spectacle, blending historical customs with contemporary theatricality. Outside of Europe, the figure of Krampus has been embraced by various cultures, particularly in the United States, where his dark, mischievous image appeals to fans of alternative holiday traditions. The renewed interest in Krampus has helped preserve and spread his legend, making him a global symbol of holiday folklore. Krampus has also found a foothold in popular culture, appearing in films, television shows, books, and holiday-themed merchandise. The character's dark and eerie allure has inspired horror movies, such as the 2015 film Krampus, which brought the legend to a wider audience. His image is used to contrast the cheerful, sanitized version of Christmas popularized in mainstream media, offering a reminder of the holiday's deeper, more complex roots. As Krampus enters the broader cultural consciousness, his story is often reinterpreted, blending elements of fear, humor, and morality to suit modern sensibilities. With the overview out of the way, let's go ahead and convert Krampus into a creature for Dungeons & Dragons. If you like that lore overview, or any of the free conversions that we provide as resources for D&D in the Google Doc below in the description, feel free to drop a subscribe, hit the notification bell, and like the video to keep supporting this channel. Alright, let's get on with the conversion. Far away from the forest we are in lays a sleepy winter town that is finished with some holiday festivities. A small band of adventurers have brought themselves together to look for some missing children who have wandered off from the town. In the heart of this snowy forest, these 5 adventurers come to a horrifying scene. As the 5 approach closer into the depths, they find 2 black, furry demons with red eyes and long horns. 4 children from the village lay in the snow, tied up and gagged, unable to speak. Both demons seem to be holding a large red sack that is brimming with coal inside of it. The knight on the left goes ahead and he recognizes the 4 children. During the winter festival they were having, these 4 thought it would be a funny idea to go ahead and burn down a barn shed, just for fun. Despite the transgressions of the children, these adventurers do not want to see them kidnapped. Immediately, the mage in the middle begins to throw fireballs and other sorts of spells at the beasts in front of them. As the 2 parties begin to clash with each other, the 2 demons go ahead and quickly dispatch the 2 soldiers in front of them, knocking them down and stuffing them into both their sacks. The one on the left leaps forward and slashes at the mage before it can do anything, disabling them and stuffing them into their sack as well. The archers, in a panic, throw a barrage of arrows at the 2 demons, most of them bouncing off of their really fortified flesh. One arrow, however, lands straight in the eye of this one and angers it massively. The fiend chucks a lump of coal at the archer in front of him that hits him, and hits him across the face, dealing some bludgeoning damage to them and blinding them in the process, where they can't see. Within the chaos, it lunges forwards and also captures this archer in the back. Before the last one can even run, this one on the left leaps forward and looks this one dead in the eye. It recognizes them, a once mischievous child that would play pranks on others, and would even go as far as stealing from the local market back in the town. With a demonic gleam in the fiend's eye and a grin, they go ahead and too stuff this person into their sack. All that could be heard are the children from behind the 2 fiends struggling to get out of their binds, while screaming can be heard coming from the bag. The 2 fiends go ahead and slam their bags to the ground, making a loud thud sound, and suddenly the screaming stops. Unable to move because of the cold, the 2 fiends go ahead and move towards the children, and them too get stuffed into the bag, never to be seen again. Here is our conversion for the Krampus, a terrifying fiend that hunts down misbehaving children and punishes them in ways unimaginable. Let's go over the details. Krampus is a medium fiend who is chaotic good. Armor class of 15 via natural armor. Hit point median of 55, otherwise a 10d8 plus 10. Speed of 60 feet, burrow speed of 35 feet, climb speed of 60 feet, and swim speed of 40 feet. Has a strength of 12, dexterity of 17, constitution of 12, intelligence of 10, wisdom of 15, and charisma of 5. Has saving throw proficiencies in dex of plus 6, skill proficiencies in investigation of plus 3, nature plus 3, stealth plus 6, survival plus 5. It has a damage resistance to bludgeoning, damage immunity to cold, and condition immunity to frightened. Its senses are a dark vision of 60 feet, true sight of 30 feet, and a passive perception of 12. It understands and speaks both common and infernal, with a telepathy range of 30 feet. It is a challenge rating of 7. Let's start off with the Krampus's abilities. Naughty or nice. If the Krampus deals damage to a creature who has any evil or chaotic alignment, the Krampus deals double damage to them. If the Krampus deals damage to a creature who has any lawful good alignment, the Krampus deals half damage to them. Creatures with the chaotic good alignment ignore this ability. Let's go ahead and get some test targets up. We'll go ahead and we'll have these 2, and we'll use them as our test. So let's go ahead and say this is a lawful good here, and a chaotic evil here. The chaotic evil will take double damage from the Krampus, while the lawful good is going to take half. Being both lawful and good, or chaotic and evil, does not stack the effect. It is double and half respectively. If one of them, for example, were chaotic good, the ability is ignored overall due to the fact that both of them will go ahead and equalize. Double and then half. Aura of Never-Ending Mischief. When the Krampus is in a 40 feet range of an enemy creature who has any evil or chaotic alignment, the Krampus may use their action as a bonus action. For each creature who has any evil or chaotic alignment the Krampus can see when its turn begins, it gains an additional bonus action on the beginning of its turn for that turn. So we'll use the same example here. The Krampus here have a single evil or chaotic alignment in range of 40 feet of them. Therefore, their actions will count as bonus actions instead, or can be counted. It's up to you whether or not they are. It is a choice. Secondly, for each of the ones they see of evil or chaotic, they get an additional bonus action on the start of their turn. So let's say this one's turn starts. It is able to see this one here. This one as well can see this one, which is the chaotic evil alignment enemy. It's going to gain a single bonus action additionally added on top of the ones that it already has, due to the fact that it can see one. If, for example, there were more than one, both of them were chaotic evil, they would gain 2 bonus actions instead on the start of their turn. Ice Walk. The Krampus can move across and climb icy surfaces without needing to make an ability check. Additionally, difficult terrain composed of ice or snow doesn't cost it extra movement. Immutable Form. The Krampus is immune to any spell effect that would alter its form. Keen Sight. The Krampus has advantage on wisdom perception checks that rely on sight. Cunning Action. On each of its turns, the Krampus can use a bonus action to take the dash, disengage, or hide action. Let's go ahead and go over the Krampus's actions now. Kidnap is a melee weapon attack with a +6 to hit. Reach of 5 feet and goes for one target. Is a d12 +3 bludgeoning damage. When the Krampus uses this attack on a target that is its size or smaller, it traps them in a bag if they fail a DC 15 Dex save. Upon being entrapped, that creature must pass a difficulty class 12 strength save when their turn begins. Otherwise, remain trapped in the bag and lose their turn. While entrapped in Krampus's bag, you take 3d20 +3 bludgeoning damage on the start of your turn before you make the save to escape. Krampus's bag can hold up to 1,000 pounds worth of creatures inside of it and feels weightless to carry no matter what is inside. Going over that real quickly, so let's go ahead and do a quick example here. So the attack lands successfully, we're going to assume that. So first off, it's a d12 +3 damage. So it would deal 9 off the bat in this example. Now let's say they failed the DC 15 Dex save. They're now trapped within Krampus's bag. Now before they can even make a save when their turn starts, the first thing that's going to happen is they're going to take a massive amount of damage, which is a 3d20 +3. So let's do that real quick, just to test the damage. Yeah, that's 43 bludgeoning damage. That is a lot of damage. Keep in mind, due to its naughty or nice ability, if that is any sort of chaotic or evil aligned character, they're taking double. So they're taking upwards of 86 on that turn, plus the initial amount they took. If they survive that, they're going to go ahead and make a difficulty class 12 strength save, which is not too hard to pass in most cases unless you're really weak in the strength department. They pass it, they get out. They don't pass it, they stay in there, and they lose their entire turn. Now, if the character is incapacitated within the bag, they are spat out on an adjacent tile of the Krampus's choice. Feel free to modify this rule if you'd like, but that is the default. And of course, additionally, you can store as many creatures as you want, so long as the cumulative amount in weight in pounds doesn't exceed 1,000, and it always feels light to carry in the bag itself. We're going to skip ahead real quick to Bag Slam. which is a melee weapon attack with a +4 to hit, and hits for 3d20 plus 1 bludgeoning damage. This action can only be used if there are creatures inside the Krampus's bag. Slam the bag on the ground and objects near you, dealing damage to those inside it. Pretty cut and clean. The Krampus can go ahead and expend an action, or in some cases a bonus action, depending on the situation, and hit the people inside the bag by just slamming the bag on the ground, dealing 3d20 plus 1. 30 and 60 if you're chaotic or evil aligned. Coal Toss is next. It is a ranged weapon attack with a +6 to hit. Its range is a minimum of at least 20 feet. Between anything that exceeds 20 feet to 75 feet, you roll a disadvantage. Beyond 75 feet, you will fail. It hits one target for a d20 plus 3 bludgeoning damage. Toss a piece of coal at the target and blind them if they fail a DC 18 Constitution save. Alright, in this example, we'll go ahead and position this guy here. That's plenty of space. It's a little too far, I think. We want to go ahead, and with that kind of range, we want to hit it right in the sweet spot. In this case, you could hit them up close if you really want to. There wouldn't be any sort of disadvantage. The disadvantage would come at this range. We want to be right about, let's see, that'd be 25, 20. That should be actually good enough. Maybe even one space back from there. Yeah, there we go. That's the perfect range, actually. So you want to be at this range or shorter. Otherwise, you're suffering a disadvantage, and beyond 75 feet, it's just not going to work, period. This is going to do a d20 plus 30 damage. Ouch, 15, 30 if doubled. And then they're going to have to pass a very difficult Constitution save. 18 is a lot. So this nearly guarantees a blind on them. The last action we're going to go over is the Krampus's Claw Swipe attack. It's a melee weapon attack with a +6 to hit and a reach of a 5-foot cone, with hitting all targets in range. d20 plus 3 piercing damage. Swipe your claws at creatures in front of you. The number requirement to get a critical hit with this attack decreases by 1 with each creature the Krampus has in their bag. When this attack critically hits, gain a bonus action. This move is quite deadly and is potentially the most deadly move they have in their kit, because it can very well infinitely go on if the setting is correct. And let me explain how. First, let's get in range. It's a 5-foot cone. It's not a very big cone, but it's going to hit most of the things that are in front of it. If you want, you can even modify this to having a sweeping range where it hits like these 3 tiles here. Like this. The more targets that this hits, the better. Because we want it to proc as many crits as possible. So when you go ahead and do the attack roll, you roll the d20 to see if the land hits or not. Usually, you land a 20, you get a crit. For every person in the Krampus's bag, however, that requirement of that 20 decreases by 1. So if you have 5 people in your bag, you will just need a 15 to 20 to land a crit. Those odds are way better. And every time it lands a crit, it gains a bonus action. So, for example, if it sweeps its claws and it crits all 3 of the ones in front of it, it's gaining 3 bonus actions. And this creature is able to use normal actions as bonus actions, so long as the ability requirements are met, where it has the correct aligned characters within range of it. If you have enough bonus actions and luck is on your side, this can infinitely loop, where it just keeps feeding itself bonus actions until it absolutely claws the things in front of it to death. The damage potential on this is quite literally infinite. Run a test blow real quick here. It's initially not too much for a CR7. Is it just a d20 plus 3? 20 points. Right there. That's actually a lot higher than average, which is 13. If that crits, that's doing a lot already. And if it just keeps going, blowing you for like an average of 13 every time it does that, that's going to take down level 7 characters relatively easily. One of these things alone, depending on the alignments that are nearby it, can take down an entire party. So use the amount you put in here and what you combine with the Krampus to your discretion. Things can very quickly get out of hand with this creature. so feel free to down tune it a little bit if you'd like, if you were more comfortable with that. Other than that though, folks, that is it for the Krampus. I hope you enjoyed the conversion and the lore. As usual, all resources are in the Google Doc below. This is the first part of our winter special we're doing. The second part will be taking place in the new year as our first video, and we will be doing something else on the Krampus. We'll be keeping it a secret up until we release it. However, look forward to that. In the meantime, if you'd like to look at our last video we've done, we did it on a randomized weapon. First time we've done a item for the randomized series that isn't at least related to a monster. It is on a greatsword that spits chemical steam at certain family types of creatures when it attacks it. Hope you all enjoyed the holidays and are looking forward towards the new year. Not too far into the new year, we will release the part 2 on the Krampus. See you all then.